There is a timeless proverb. Even a fish can avoid problems if it keeps its mouth shut. Though it appears simple and humorous on the surface, its depth, when contemplated sincerely, is profound. In the vast river of life, it teaches us the value of silence, a virtue praised by sages, saints, and scriptures across time and tradition. In today's noisy world, where opinions float freely and words often fly faster than thoughts, we forget that silence is not weakness, it is strength concealed in restraint. In the Ved, the wise are described not by how much they speak, but by how consciously they choose to remain silent. The Rig Veda says, "Na vachan hinasti," meaning, do not misuse speech. Words can build, heal, uplift. But they can also destroy, divide, and hurt. Once, a great king invited a wandering sage to bless his court. The sage remained silent, even after being asked multiple times to speak. When the courtiers mocked him, he finally spoke just one sentence. "Speech is silver, silence is gold." He then explained, "The most dangerous weapon is not the sword, but the tongue." The court fell silent. The king understood that wisdom lies not in speaking much, but in speaking right or not at all. The Puranas are full of stories where silence proved mightier than action. In the Bhagavad Puran, Lord Shiva is often depicted as deeply silent, immersed in meditation. His silence is not void, it is filled with cosmic wisdom. When King Daksh insulted him, Shiv said nothing. His silence was misunderstood as weakness, but it later erupted as divine justice through Veerbhadra. That moment teaches us, silence is not surrender, it is preparation. In the Mahabharata, during the Sabha Parv, when Draupadi was humiliated in the royal court, many noble men sat in silence. But that silence was cowardice, not wisdom. There's a difference. True silence comes from understanding, not fear. When silence is used to protect dharma, it is powerful. But when it is used to avoid responsibility, it becomes a sin. Thus, the fish in our thought, avoiding the hook by keeping its mouth shut, symbolize wise restraint. It doesn't mean never speaking, it means knowing when not to speak. Just like the fish sees bait and keeps its mouth shut to save its life, we too must learn to recognize bait in life, gossip, arguments, provocation, and keep silent. Silence is also celebrated in other traditions. In Christianity, Jesus often responded with silence to accusations, teaching patience and humility. In Buddhism, the Buddha would often answer questions with a peaceful silence, especially when the answer would only create confusion or conflict. Silence, he taught, leads to mindfulness. In practical life, many suffer not because they acted, but because they spoke unwisely. A slip of the tongue can break relationships, ruin reputations, and even start wars. A businessman once lost $1 million deal because he mocked the accent of the client during a casual lunch. His words, meant in jest, cost him deeply. Another man avoided imprisonment because he chose not to react angrily during a police interrogation. His silence protected him until his innocence was proven. Wise people throughout history have respected the power of silence. Maharshi Patanjali, the father of yoga, spoke of maun, silence, as a path to control the mind. Silence trains the mind to listen, not just to others, but to one's own conscience. When we speak less, we hear more, the cries of others, the whispers of intuition, the guidance of the divine. Silence also protects energy. Every word spoken consumes pran shakti, life energy. Those who speak constantly often feel tired, distracted, and drained. On the other hand, those who practice mindful silence remain calm, alert, and present. Saints in Himalaya undertake Maun Vrat, a vow of silence, to deepen their sadhana. Their silence is not empty, it is filled with the sound of the inner universe, the Om, vibrating within. But silence does not mean suppression. If truth must be spoken, it must be. Silence is wise when it avoids conflict, but it becomes dangerous if it hides injustice. Bhagavad Gita teaches us, speak and act when righteousness demands it. Silence must be paired with discernment, vivek. Think of a mother. She remains silent when her child blames her in anger, understanding the immaturity. But she speaks up when her child is about to touch fire. That is intelligent silence born of love, not ego. Similarly, a wise friend may not hug you when insulted, but will speak up when his silence may harm the friend. The art of silence also applies in professional life. In meetings, leaders who listen more and speak less are more respected. Their words, when spoken, carry weight. Employees who gossip often lose trust. Silence, coupled with observation, reveals more than hurried speech. One story from the Upanishad tells of a student who asked his guru to teach him Brahma. The guru said, I shall teach you. And guru remained silent for days. The student, confused, finally understood Brahma is beyond words. The silence itself was the answer. This world is filled with traps, verbal bait, emotional hooks, ego clashes. Like the fish that avoids the hook by keeping its mouth shut, we must learn to navigate life with mindful speech and sacred silence. As the Chanakya Niti says, Murkha parihartavyo yatra nasti vinaya nanome dvijebhya suktya karya. Avoid arguing with fools, speak only when it adds value. The next time you're tempted to argue, to gossip, to respond to a taunt, remember the fish. It swims freely in the river, while the one who bit the bait ends up on someone's plate. Your words are precious. Don't waste them where they're not needed. Ultimately, silence is not absence, it is presence. It is a shield, a sanctuary, and a source of power. Even a fish knows when to keep quiet, shouldn't we? शब्द बाढ़ से तीव्र होता है मौन का अस्त्र जो चला जाता है भीतर तक. So speak when needed. But master the art of silence. It might just save you from trouble, from regret, and sometimes even from yourself. If this video inspired you, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more motivation, and share it with someone who needs a boost today. Until next time, stay motivated, stay inspired, and keep shining. See you in the next video. Shubham Bhavtu.